Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ceci and today we're going to be testing out viral TikTok recipes that are supposed to be healthier desserts. We're trying out 5 different recipes and seeing if they're worth making or not. First one we're going to be trying includes a sweet potato. Yup, we're making sweet potato brownies. This recipe calls for 9 different ingredients. And first we're going to start with a baked sweet potato. So if you've never baked a sweet potato before, what you want to do is poke some holes around the whole sweet potato, and then you want to bake it at 400 for about 45 to 50 minutes, just depending on your oven. Mine is so soft in the center that it just cracked the skin naturally. So let's pull our hair back and get to work. So first you're going to want to peel all the skin off of the sweet potato, and then just dump it in your bowl. Actually, the first thing you're going to want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Next, I'm going to grab one of these whisks and just smash my sweet potato in my bowl. Just like this. My sweet potato is fresh out of the oven, so it's still kind of hot. I love sweet potatoes. My potato is way too hot and I'm afraid if I add the eggs now that I'm going to cook my eggs. So I think I'm going to add other ingredients before I add the eggs. So let's see, what can we add? We can add the vanilla. So let's add about a teaspoon of vanilla. Then I'm gonna add half a cup of maple syrup, a pinch of salt. Then you're gonna add in your 2 eggs. Oh my gosh, it smells so good already. Then you're gonna add in 4 tablespoons of flour. 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Then I'm gonna crush up a little bit of chocolate, and I'm using Lily's semi-sweet chocolate. You can also use chocolate chips of your choice. Then you're gonna grease your baking pan, flour it up a little bit, and then evenly spread it out. Then you can grab your chocolate chips and just spread them all over your brownie. And this is what it should look like. Now we're gonna put this in the oven. It does say 350 for about 40 minutes, but we're gonna be checking on it. Next, we're gonna be doing a recipe that's actually a very old recipe, but I've actually never came around to doing it. So I'm gonna try it today. So it is, can you guess? Where's my other ingredient? Yogurt, chocolate, and strawberries. We're making chocolate strawberry bites. So first, I'm gonna cut up my strawberries and I'm gonna dice them into little bitty pieces. I'm loving the fact that it's spring right now because spring and summer fruits are the absolute best. Next, we're gonna put these berries into our yogurt. Now, the recommended flavor for the yogurt is strawberry, but all I have is coconut, and I'm like, strawberry, coconut, chocolate, heck yeah. That's gonna be amazing for me. So I'm gonna add in all my berries in my yogurt. I'm not sure if I should have put this in a bigger bowl. I probably should have, but this is working, it'll do. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a parchment paper and I'm gonna put it on this flat pan, and then I'm gonna dump this mixture in little dollops and then freeze them. Now these are gonna go in the freezer for probably about 30 minutes or so, and then we're gonna allow them to harden up, and then we're gonna dip these babies in chocolate. The next recipe we're gonna make is healthy, what is it called? Frozen banana Snicker bars. I almost said balls. Snicker bars, not Snicker balls. So you're gonna grab some bananas, as many as you want. I'm gonna use 2 today. And ideally they should be more ripe than this, right? But I did a Target pickup and this is what they gave me. What can you do? So I'm gonna open these up. I don't even know if I can open them. Okay. And then you're gonna slice them in half, and then you're gonna cut them long ways. Like that. And I'm just gonna use a regular plate. This is optional, but you can use some parchment paper over your plate. And now to assemble. So first it's telling me to put some yogurt, some regular plain Greek yogurt on top of the bananas. But I think for me, I'm gonna add in a little bit of maple syrup to my yogurt because I have a feeling that it's gonna need it. Then to make this a lot easier for myself, I'm gonna put my yogurt in a plastic bag, and then I'm just gonna pipe some yogurt right on the bananas. Then I'm gonna use the same method to drizzle some peanut butter on top. And then I'm also gonna be drizzling some melted chocolate. And lastly, I'm just gonna be adding some peanuts. Now I'm gonna put these babies in the freezer for about 30 minutes. So this next recipe I'm super excited about because I have been craving banana pudding for the longest time. I haven't had it in so long and I've always wanted to make like a healthier version, so I'm glad I came across this video. So I'm actually gonna be using a mason jar for this. So basically what you're gonna wanna do, actually I need a bowl. So what you're gonna wanna do first is actually mix some non-fat Greek yogurt with some banana pudding mix. Then you're gonna wanna add about a teaspoon of sugar-free banana pudding mix. And then you're gonna give it a mix. So now we're just gonna assemble our jars. So I know originally banana pudding is made with vanilla wafers, but I chose to use some what is it called? Sweet Thins by Simple Mills. Yeah, these are good. So I'm gonna be using these, and plus they're a little bit healthier than the vanilla wafers, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these in. And then I'm gonna add some sliced banana. Then some of my yogurt. I'm trying to get it in the jar without making it look ugly. Just kind of lay that on there. And more banana. We're doing these first, right? And then more of our yogurt. And just smash it down a little bit. And then lastly, we're gonna add a little bit of more of the crackers. Oh my gosh, I just realized, you know what would be so good with this? Biscoff, the little Biscoff cookies. Ugh. And then to make it nice and pretty, I'm gonna add a little bit more. Are you supposed to add whip to this? Do people add whip to their banana puddings? Okay, now we're gonna close this up, put this in the fridge for about 30 minutes. Okay, so the last and final recipe that we're gonna be making is some banana bread cookies. So these are actually like a brown butter banana bread cookie. I've been on a banana kick lately. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I mean, apparently a lot of the desserts that I chose are banana related. But these, I've actually had this in my head for a long time, banana bread cookies. Like not necessarily healthy, but just regular cookies. But I did find a healthy version, so I'm gonna be making that today. So the first thing that you wanna start out with is half a cup of brown butter. I have brown butter that I made yesterday, so I'm just gonna have, oops, hold on. My scale's being crazy right now. All right, so I'm gonna make sure I have exactly 4 ounces, or no, it should be 114 grams of brown butter. So hopefully this is enough. It's definitely not gonna be enough. Well, I guess I didn't make enough brown butter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of just regular butter. And in the recipe, it does state that it has to be salted butter. And you want it to be nice and soft. Perfect. Then to this, you're gonna add about 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup. And then I'm gonna use my whisk. So I'm gonna use it to blend this in. And then the recipe calls for 1 medium ripe banana. Unfortunately, mine are not that ripe. So we're just gonna have to work with what we got. I'm gonna mash it in here. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna add in my vanilla, 1 egg, a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And I could have sworn I had almond flour, but I guess I don't. So I'm gonna have to use just regular all-purpose flour. I'm gonna add some cinnamon to this. It doesn't say, but hello, why wouldn't we? Breaking all the rules. Just kidding. Okay, then we mix, make sure we're not forgetting anything. The recipe does say that you can add some chocolate chips, but I'm not like a chocolate chip banana bread type of girl, so I'm gonna add in some chopped walnuts instead. Can't really whisk those in, you gotta fold them in, right? Because then they'll get stuck in these little things. I thought my batter was way too thin, so then I checked the recipe and it says 1 cup and 3/4 of a cup. So it's 1 3/4 of a cup. Oh yeah, now it's thickening up. Now the recipe does say you want to leave it in the fridge for at least, what, I think 10 to 30 minutes or something like that, just to firm up a little bit. And so now we're ready to scoop. So I'm gonna scoop out about 6 cookies. And now we bake for about 10 minutes, and she has the degrees at 375, so 375 for 10 minutes. So these have been in the freezer for about 30 minutes. Some of them have hardened and some of them are a little bit softer. So I'm gonna dip the ones that I can. I honestly don't even know if I have enough chocolate for this. I'm thinking of just drizzling it, because either way, I don't think I would want that much chocolate on my healthier version of the yogurt bites or whatever. But I think that's just the easiest way. I'm just gonna drizzle it on top, or kind of just like, yeah, let's do that. All right, back in the freezer. So first we're gonna taste test these brownies. I don't know. I'm a little scared to try these actually. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just gonna cut a little corner. I'm an edge person when it comes to brownies. I like the edges because it's nice and crispy. They're freaking flat as hell. All right, let's give it a try. You can see the little sweet potato in there, but here goes nothing. I'm sorry. Immediately no. That's a great way to waste a sweet potato. That was not good at all. Next, that literally tasted what you would think it would taste like. It tastes like a sweet potato and chocolate. It's gross. No. All right, next up is gonna be these little yogurt bites. So I'm gonna get this one in the middle if I can pick it up. Let's give it a little taste test. Now this is something I can get behind. Wow, that is so good. You know what? The coconut yogurt actually paired very well as I thought it would. But you know what would even be better with this combo? Some actual fresh coconut flakes inside. Oh my gosh, did I just create something? Or has that been done before? Honestly, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. It's really refreshing and it's like a nice light snack. It's so good. Next up, we're trying these banana Snickers. All right, so let's give it a go. Cheers. It ain't no Snickers, but this is actually it's a good snack. I could see, you know what, this would be really good? This would be good as like a pre-workout snack. I'm not a huge fan of like the different textures because it's like, you know, the banana and then you have the chocolate and then you have like that really soft yogurt. But I am a fan of the flavor. I would give this, let me take another bite. I would give it a 7 out of 10. It's a good snack. I think this one is worth trying. All right, let's try the banana pudding. This is the one I've been waiting for. I'm so excited. This is how the inside looks. It's a cute little parfait. All right, let's try it. Let me give it another bite. Maybe I need to let it sit for longer. You know what it is? The yogurt, it's too thick. Like I think the banana pudding mix thickened it so much that it's not very like, it's just too thick. I don't know how to explain it. I think next time, I've seen some people do it with like Cool Whip also. So I think that would be a good addition. But just like this, I can't get past that like thickness of the Greek yogurt. So let me try it again. I think definitely next time I'll add in some vanilla extract. And I want to try it with the Cool Whip because I feel like that'll help loosen up the Greek yogurt a little bit. But for now, I would give this a 5 out of 10. Lastly, I have my cookies. These actually look like kind of like muffin tops, don't they? I don't know. I don't know about these either, but let's try them. They're really soft. Let me give that another bite. We have to give it 2 chances, right? This is probably the least flavorful recipe we've made today. It's just, it literally tastes like, To be fair though, I didn't use almond flour like the recipe suggested, but it doesn't taste like there's sweetness at all, like at all. I think next time I'd probably use honey for this. That would probably be a better swap, and more of it for sure, because I don't feel like there's any sweetener in this at all. Like I can't even taste the banana in this. This is a fail. Honestly, to me, this is a 0 out of 10. Wasting my bananas. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.